Stage 3 of the men's Eliminator, the very best of Super League, and a good start from Schoeman, who is to the right of your screen, alongside Johnny Brownlee, who said it was a lot longer for him when he was on the low pontoon positions, if you like, closest to screen where Vince Louis is. So at the moment it's Schoeman who leads out, Brownlee to his left, Canute I think is to his right.
Yeah, there's the three on the outside there, which is Schoeman in the blue, Michelchuk and Johnny, and then as we come across, there is Murray there, who's just fighting his way through. He just needs to be on someone's hips or feet. Canute there, Berger and Louis on the outside, who just has got enough in the tank to get himself out of any trouble on the swim. He's got a great 100 metres at any point, I think, to use. You know, do I need to move up around this person? Right, I'm gonna use it now, and he uses it when he needs it.
At the moment, it's Michelchuk who's made it his mission to be at the pointy end of each of these stages.
Well,
alongside
he's slowing
Schoeman.
it down here. That's a bad tactic for him. He should just slot in on Henry's feet and sit there. And because he wants Henry to swim as fast as he possibly can, so he gets as much ground on the guys behind him, and this race is as stretched out as possible. He's kind of slowing the race down and keeping guys like Murray potentially in it. You know, if the swim is as fast as possible, he wants the biggest gap back to Murray as he possibly can. Louis is just in the great position there, exactly where he wants to be, and that's Johnny back there in fourth place. So Louis has just fought Michelchuk for the feet there. He says, I want that feet, I want to be in the easiest swimming position possible, and he's trying to pull him wide. He'll go back in again now, so he pulled him out to the left to try and get rid of him off his hip, and then he's gone back in, and Michelchuk's just gone straight back in on his hip. Not particularly clever racing, but I think he's got to do all he can in such a short swim, really, to stay near the front as well.
A short swim and a stacked field, and Henry Schoeman once again leads them out. Johnny Brownlee in fourth position, he's got a little bit of clear water there in the red, and down the back end of the field is who have we got there? Leo Bergeret.
Well, that's actually Canute there, just behind those guys. Bergeret and Murray at the back. They're pretty much, you don't have to swim back there. They're just getting pulled along. Michelchuk's just going back through the field and kind of getting in the way here again. And he must have a great first 100 metres and then almost goes so far into the red. I'm not sure what he does after that.
But again, Henry Schoeman off that last buoy. He got
so fast around it.
All right,
and Murray in a bit of danger at the back. He's last in the green jersey.
Yeah, he's dead last there.
But we know his transitions are remarkable. So,
and it's such a short swim. You know, it's only over a few minutes. Were they doing another lap here, and all of a sudden there's clear water there back to Murray? You know, you lose 20 seconds. That'd be a game changer for him. He could be in some serious trouble. But you know, it's lined out now after a couple of minutes swimming. He's only got a minute left, so he's actually safe. You can only lose a handful of seconds, maybe maximum.
All right, it all changes in transition, it seems, each time they come through. Michelchuk comes out third, Brownlee fourth. Let's see if he can have no mishaps through transition. Schoeman leads them in, though, from Vince Louis. I think that's happened in each of the stages thus far. A good transition for Henry Schoeman, and he looks around, knows that he's got a little bit of time. Vince Louis, the two of them will have a nice little gap. Michelchuk and Brownlee. Canute is wasting time. Yeah, Johnny did a good job there.
Murray did have a great transition. But a lot of it, actually, Tristan, is this first bit, you know, get your bike moving and then get your feet in. And yeah, as you see, Canute is just going for it. He's just going, and Murray straight in and straight. His feet have gone straight in there. You know, that's how he makes up so much time. So he can just ride now, and he's got no worry. You know, he doesn't have to worry about doing anything with his feet. Whereas some of these guys, I bet Canute still doesn't actually have his feet in his shoes, unless he's done it somewhere on that straight, which is going to make this hill very interesting for him.
Tyler Michelchuk jumped straight across. You saw him looking at them as they ran out of transition. He's jumped straight on that back wheel, and there's three away.
Yeah, if you don't have your feet in on this
these guys
hill,
are right on that back of the motorbike here as well, which is giving them an advantage up the headwind into the hill. Johnny pulling hard to get across the gap, and Ben Canute has got his feet in his shoes, which is crucial. So
you lose that pull, really, don't you, up the hill? If you can just push and not pull, that's going to hurt you.
Pretty much neutralised now, actually, the race. All 7 of them are together. Just those guys behind might have had to ride a little bit hard to get there.
And that could come into play later on in this one. At the moment, it's Schoeman who looks back and sees all 6 of his rivals behind him. The first time down the hill, Vince Louis just doing some running repairs on his shoe while he's got a moment to do so. A little bit of debris on the tracks blowing on, but it doesn't seem to be bothering anyone. Schoeman from Louis.
Murray's moved up
into
there.
second and to fourth now.
Yeah, you know, he used the point at which the race kind of slowed up just to move up a few places, which is, the right thing to do. look, actually it's pretty slow out that corner, so they haven't really had to make a big effort. But
well, they're all together now.
Yeah.
It's basically looking around.
Yeah.
This is shaping up to be an absolute belter of a race. 7 of the very best, and there's nothing between them through the swim and the first lap of the bike. 3 more laps on the bike, 3 more times up that hill, and then the run up and down, and 1 more up to an uphill finish. And there is so much talent, so much accomplishment in this group.
So he tapped around the outside and
nearly hit a cat. Did you see that?
Yeah, and so he's tried to make a bit of a move on the field.
He's using the tailwind as well.
He's got 10 metres on Schumann, who's back there. I mean, it's a hard move because he's going round up into this hill into the headwind now, and it's quite a lot easier for the chasers. But you never know. They just look behind. They just look at each other for a couple of seconds. I don't like looking behind. You commit. You commit for the first minute when you do attack. You just absolutely commit. Otherwise, it's not worth doing it. And you should also be swinging across to be near that motorbike.
Yeah.
But I'm not being critical.
Yes, you are. You 100% are being critical.
And now Ben Canute's coming across.
Oh, he can't even turn his head without getting the criticism. Jeez.
No, but the good thing is he probably saw that in the first lap. He was just off the front 3. He saw the motorbike advantage, thought he'd jump it and take advantage of that. And he didn't slide across, like you said.
Yeah. The group behind, though, is actually splintered a little bit,
All right, let's have a look at the cat replay. There he is. He's a tabby cat. He's turning from left to right. He doesn't even turn his head. He's taken Ali Brantley's advice and not turned his head, but he is out of there when he sees Johnny. I feel like Johnny accelerated when he saw the cat.
Maybe, yeah.
Just trying to scare him off. Maybe to save the cat's life.
Use this tailwind again, Johnny, and he can... I think the boys are back
It's all back together, really. Yeah. I mean, the problem he's got here is it's so much easier. Once these guys get rolling on the flat after the sprint out this corner, I think, they can just recover a little bit, and they've got that extra little bit of power to get up the hill.
Going in 3 wide, not a place there. It narrows up on the cobblestones.
He didn't bomb that. He didn't do that chicane well at all.
But just as we cut to the cat bit, it looked like Schumann and Vincent were actually just getting distance a little bit off the back at the top of the hill. I mean, that might be a thing that they actually have done on purpose to just ease out the hill for them and give themselves a bit of a breather, or it might be a sign that they're actually struggling. Who knows? If anyone had the legs now to take it on, to attack either Murray from Murray's position there, this race could potentially blow all over, I think.
All right, he has another look behind him, Johnny Brownlee, and he sees a bit of cat and mouse being played as they head to the right-hand side.
It's been a race of 2 because Ben Canute's been the one doing all the work to chase it down.
He's trying to move out of the road too, and they're all following him.
Yeah.
He's trying to get someone else to have a go at him.
Yeah, they're sitting up now, so potentially... but Schumann's made a bit of a move there on the outside.
I think Louis in trouble.
I think we would see him there, like you said. He likes racing from the front, and I think we'd see him. I mean, that's not to say he won't pull in a result here. He's racing. Part of the talent of racing, I think, is racing to the conditions on the day. And if he hasn't got great legs, he's thinking, well, if I can energy conserve for most of this race and make it to the last 400 metres, then who knows? But yeah, we're seeing it's splintering. Canute's paying for all that work he put in now, and Schumann's on Johnny, and it's making for really exciting racing.
The problem for these two is Richard Murray right there in 3rd position. He'll chase everything down.
Yeah, but making him chase it down is making him, work. So, it's not always a bad thing. And this course, when you've got hills like that in a corner, it quite often compresses the field a little bit, which is what we saw there. And Murray's just lurking in exactly the right place there, getting on the wheels and doing what he needs to do.
There's plenty of discussion out there and plenty of tactics, and they can't really get away from each other. Ben Canute doing his best to stay in touch. Leo Bergeret doing what he always does and just flying under the radar in 6th position. And if it keeps like this, and this is the 4th of 4 bike laps, we're all going to arrive in transition at the same time. It's just about who did all the work.
Yeah, it's eased up now. It'd be good to see, from the look. So Vincent Louis is right back in the race.
Yeah.
There was a point there, I think if Murray or Schumann had been aggressive, it could have made for an exciting race. But yeah, it's neutralised again. Vincent's exactly where he wants to be, although I'm not sure he looks that comfortable. But this could have just allowed him back in the race, both physically and the fact that he's had a breather. Ben Canute's having another go.
He knows that he probably hasn't got the legs on the run, Ben Canute. He needs to push and really take some energy out of these guys.
Yeah, this is his chance.
As they reach the top part of the course for the last time on the bike, and then it'll be 1.5 laps on the run to decide who wins the men's Eliminator. What a fantastic shot that is of Malta and surrounds. A beautiful country and a beautiful place for a race. Breaking new ground, Super League Triathlon. Down they come the hill for the last time, and it is a race in 7, as it has always been.
This last lap is crucially important here. This is the proper business end of the race, and you don't want to be too far in that pack going into transition. More risk of something happening, a crash or getting it wrong. And also, you've lost 5 seconds straight away. I think this transition, this next 30 seconds here is going to be absolutely crucial for the race.
But typical of Vincent Louis to put himself right up the front as they come into transition. He's been a bit tardy up
super fast transition, super fast dismount there. He flew off that bike, and he knows this transition's important, and that's why he's giving it everything.
It is absolutely crucial, isn't it? And Richard Murray, he's the king of transitions.
And
look at that.
He's gone.
He is gone.
Yeah. And Vincent Louis was tardy again.
Schumann actually didn't look like he got his shoe in first time there, so he lost a bit of time. But yeah, Richard Murray's stolen the lead there. 5 seconds, and he's gone straight away. Vincent, I think, you can see he's quite laboured, and Schumann running out fast as well.
The crowd watching on and watching Richard Murray just put time into them, and the importance of transition. We know it's important in Super League, but that is a classic example. Just a couple of seconds gap, and Richard Murray has gone from mid-pack to leading them on the first of this run. Look at that gap.
He's done it all day. You've talked about it in stage 1 and 2. His transitions have been far superior to everyone, and he's left himself... Well, Henry Schumann's left himself a lot to do, and Vincent Louis... Henry
Schumann's gone out really quick there, actually. He came out of transition a bit back, and he's had to go as hard as he can for that first 400 metres there, pretty much. And I think he's probably gone out a bit hard.
Murray's committed here. He's very committed.
This is where the question's asked, really, of Vince Louis. He likes to race from the front, and he likes to respond, and we know how good he is over the last part of a run. Can he respond again in this one? And we know he's looked maybe not his best, but he's still there or thereabouts. We'll
see what he's got here. Schumann is already looking behind, so I think he's gone out hard, and he wants to see who's behind him. He's not so much focused on Murray anymore. He had a couple of glances over his left-hand shoulder there. So, I think, and again, I think Vincent Louis, he's probably thinking, what can I do now over this whole run, over whatever it's going to be, I guess 5 or 6 minutes worth of running, rather than gassing myself to get back up onto Schumann's shoulder and that being the end of my race. Mitchell Schuck holding in strong there.
That's a big gap. That's a big gap. We haven't seen Richard Murray come to the front in any of the stages, so this is a committed attack.
But that's what the Eliminator is all about. He did it before as well. He stays mid-pack, he counts, he waits, and then he pounces when he knows the time is right. And this is exactly what he did 18 months ago. It's exactly what he's doing right now. And at the moment, only the other South African, Henry Schumann, is within spitting distance of Richard Murray, and Murray's disappearing in the distance. Brownlee and Mislachuk make up the top 5, and then a big gap back to Leo Bergeret and further to Ben Canute.
We haven't seen anyone run down this hill full pace yet, and we are actually seeing that now. This is the only time it really matters, and the only time it's probably worth doing, unless you're trying to stave off relegation. But yeah, we saw Murray really launch himself down the hill, and we don't see many downhills like this in triathlon, so it's interesting to see who's got that in them. And Schumann actually quite slow compared to Louis and Johnny there, caught straight up on that. 30 seconds of downhill running, they took a fair bit of time into. Murray's away now. He's absolutely clear. Yeah,
he is clear, but those minor placings are all important when it comes to overall round position, overall prize money, and then championship points going into Mallorca next weekend. But at the moment, the man who's going to collect 25 of them, the maximum, is Richard Murray, who is putting in a serious run and taking... sending a message, if you like, and Vince Louis has responded.
Yeah, he's working hard here.
Yeah, he
he's
really
going hard after him. He's stretching the 2 guys out behind him. We all know he's got a fantastic finish, and he's doing his best to put the other guys under pressure before he has to use his kick in the last few hundred metres. I think Schumann's hanging in, and Johnny's hanging on him as hard as they can. But these guys are going as hard as they can now, and they don't look very comfortable.
No, they don't. Yeah. They look more comfortable than if I was doing it, but at the moment, Richard Murray is doing it easy. He makes one more turn, and then he heads up Malta Mountain for the last time. 275-odd metres between him and a win in the men's Eliminator, and it doesn't look like anyone is going to catch him. Vince the race is on for the minor placings, and Vince is pushing on now.
Those guys to spread out. There's a metre or 2 between each of the 3 of them there, and that's, I think these are the places probably settled now. You wouldn't want to be trying to catch Vincent Louis on an uphill sprint, I don't think, and I think Schumann's probably pretty in 3rd.
This is a massive performance from Richard Murray, a massive, massive day. He was a bit off the pace in Jersey. He looked never in it today, but unbelievable running.
Absolutely unbelievable running it is. Richard Murray is going to do the job. He's played a tactical masterclass here on the streets of Malta. He looks behind and you can see how much it means to him. Richard Murray takes the win in the men's eliminator in front of a big crowd, and he is so happy about it. Vince Louis, he makes his way into second place. He had enough left in the tank to hold off Henry Schoeman, who comes in third. So 2 South Africans on the podium. Johnny Brownlee, who's fought all day, come back from multiple small mistakes, has run himself into 4th position, and Tyler Mislachuk takes 5th spot as well. Yeah. Richard Murray takes the win. Congratulations to him. A huge race from Richard Murray.